Well, that was an interesting first round last night. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. The first round is done. Round 2 tonight. I'm not going live for that. But we got a lot to talk about. Spurs Talk finally has done an article for the first time, what it feels like forever. So welcome back, LJ. He graded the Spurs draft, and I'm going to grade it as well while we're reading his grade. So let's get into the article. In one of the least surprising moments of the 2025 NBA draft, our San Antonio Spurs drafted Dylan, you son of a Harper, with the second overall selection. What definitely classifies as a surprise, however, was the Spurs being able to select Carter Bryant with the number 14 pick. Bryant was widely assumed to be off the board when it came time for San Antonio to make their second choice in the lottery. And I think that's why my reaction last night was a little subdued with the Carter Bryant pick. Is I must have missed some reports that he was probably not going to be available. I did see a mock having a go between 10 and 12, but I've also saw so many mocks with us drafting at 14 that when it happened, I was like, okay, it happened. It played out the way you thought it would. The Spurs also made a move prior to the draft by trading away their second round pick to the Indiana Pacers. In return for the 38th selection, San Antonio received cash and a 2030 second rounder via the Sacramento Kings. We just can't get away from the Sacramento Kings. Let's talk about the Dylan Harper pick at number 2. Harper is clearly the second best player in this draft. He's a big guard with high-level playmaking upside. His combination of ball handling, footwork, body control, and touch is remarkable. He needs to prove he can be an above-average shooter and defender, but he seemingly has all the necessary tools. San Antonio also did well to ignore trade offers for the second pick. The value of adding a foundational piece like Harper is greater than anything the Spurs could have received in a reasonable trade. They gave it an A. TSR's grade? A. Best player available. Made sense. I know the fit isn't quite there. Maybe there's a starting backcourt of Harper and Castle and 3 or 4. Who the heck knows? But yes, it's an A. And then Spurs draft Carter Bryant at number 14. I thought this was interesting. Spurs Talk had Bryant at number 8 on the final Spurs big board. Wow, that's okay. To get him with the 14th selection is quite the shot. In fact, general manager Brian Wright said that the Spurs tried to trade up to pick Bryant before he ultimately fell into his lap. So I didn't catch that last night. Did you guys know that? We were actually trying to trade up to draft Carter Bryant, and we didn't have to trade anything. We got him at 14. Bryant has the potential of being an amazing clean fit in San Antonio. At 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan, is he a little under 6'7", 6.5", I think? Round up. He's a defensive playmaker who racked up steals and blocks at a high rate. He also knocked down 37% of his three-pointers with good form and a high release. Although the 19-year-old is an explosive athlete, didn't he have around a 39-inch vert at the combine? Scoring the basketball has never been a strong suit of his on any level. He's not much of a ball handler, which could play a part in limiting his ultimate offensive upside. Okay? That said, as long as his jumper comes along and he continues to thrive defensively, Bryant is almost a picture-perfect fit long-term on this roster. He's the type of player you want to put around Wemby and the type of player that can make life easier for Fox, Castle, and Harper. All in all, the Spurs should feel really lucky that Bryant dropped to the end of the lottery. He's given it an A. How can I not go an A? I gotta... And his name, Carter Bryant. Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant. I mean, I can only dream that he takes some of the best assets from both, best intangibles from both those players. But, I like the pick. I was a little subdued last night, but now that the smoke has settled and the dust is clear, I'm like, all right, it's the right pick. But there's more to talk about because the Spurs traded pick number 38 and cash. And the Spurs may regret this move if Maxine Reyno or Ryan Kalbrunner fall to 38. Rasheer Fleming is another big who is still available. I'm shocked he fell into the second round. Wemby's boy Maxine Reyno's there. There are rumblings that the Spurs could try to make a move to get back into the second round. Reyno specifically is being talked about as a target for San Antonio. Shocker. If the Spurs do make a move, it'll be interesting to see how much it costs in future assets. I would think 2 second-round picks. We have a lot of them. We have 4 or 5 next year? Throw 2 from next year. He's giving it a B-. So my grade on this, of course, this is second round pick hindsight. With Fleming and Reyno available, my initial grade is going to be an F on trading this pick. I know they did it for some kind of exception, However, if the Spurs get a second-round pick back and do get a Rasheer Fleming or Maxime Reynaud, then I would put it in A, as long as we're not giving up something totally unreasonable. I will do a video tonight if the Spurs do grab a second pick. I'm not going to watch the draft. I'll have something in regards to the draft, but I really don't want to go live for again after what happened last night, which I'll get into in just a few moments. Not you guys at all, by the way, but in regards to ESPN. But before we talk about ESPN, I want to grade another team, not the Spurs, guys, but a team that does affect us, the Atlanta Hawks. That's an absolute A. We got Asa Newell, plus an unprotected 2026 first-round pick from the Pelicans. They drafted Newell, 22 or 23? With the East being wide open, the Hawks look like a playoff team for the next years. Plus, they got Kristaps Porzingis. Yes, he'll probably miss 25, 30 games, but when he's there, the team will be better. Our pick swap from next year and our only first-round pick is through the Hawks through 2027. I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just seeing those lose value right before my eyes. The Hawks are going to be much better, and with the East just being so many injuries in the East, Dame, Tatum, and now recently Hallie, the Hawks are probably going to be a top 4 team. Top 4, top 5 at worst. Anyways, that's enough about the Atlanta Hawks. I want to talk about ESPN for a moment, because I got a grade for them. F-. I don't know about you guys, but the draft took way too long last night. And me and Miss TSR ended up tapping out on the early 20 picks. We both took our contacts out and left it on in the background. And she wanted to see where Liam McNeely was picked. I want to see where Fleming was going to go, if Reynaud was going to get picked. But we could not watch anymore, stay alive. It just was so infuriating long. The pick would be in, and then sometimes you'd wait what felt like 10 minutes for them to finally announce the damn thing. So awful, in my opinion, on ESPN. That draft should have ended 10:30, 10:45. And it ended at 11:15, 11:30. It went easily more than 45 minutes in a minute longer than it should have, probably an hour. Let's not forget the draft used to be one night for both rounds. And now they spread this freaking thing to 3.5 hours last night, and it's going to probably be another 3 hours tonight. Ridiculous. I hate it. ESPN, you get an F and a U. What do you guys think about the ESPN's draft? Do you agree about the Atlanta Hawks? The grade for them? I'll close up on this. With the draft being done, first round being done, this does raise some questions. What are the Spurs going to do in free agency? Are we getting a big or trading for one? Because that is still a massive area of need for the team. We have no legit backup for Wemby. If Brian Wright and company roll out Biyombo and Bassie next year, that would be an absolute mistake. Also, with drafting Carter Bryant, what does that mean for the future of Dev Vassell as one of our wings? Or Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes? A lot of question marks, but I'm very happy with the direction of the Spurs. Harper, Bryant, ready to see you guys on the court. Harper will not be going to the G League. I don't know about Bryant. You guys think he's going to go to the G League to start? 14th overall pick. Of course, all this is contingent on how they look in the Summer League and the preseason. If Bryant's blowing it out of the water, then he's not going to the G League. All right, guys, that's all I got. How would you grade the Spurs with this draft? Your grade for Dylan Harper, your grade for Carter Bryant, your overall grade. My overall grade is an A at the moment because I think that second-round pick portion of it is incomplete. I think they're going to try to get back in the second round, take the guy above me. Can they do something crazy and get two second-round picks and draft Reynaud and Fleming and have 4 rookies? Hey, crazier things have happened. The Nets have 5 rookies. So that's all I got, guys. Hit the WI Sports channel and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.